welcome and insert music here. Do 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 do. A hacker cop. Maybe some applause. I don't know, electronic or music. Anyway.
Are you learning how to beatbox?
I could. I'm not very good, but I used to sort of do it. I wasn't very good, but I did it anyway, like in high school and a little bit into college. I really annoyed my friends on a road trip once, I remember. But yeah, I don't know. Cool. Okay, so I did not do anything after last show except for come up with those ideas of what segments could be. I still have over here in my whiteboard, I have things to do. So we need to start an email list. I got the domain, but it's just an ugly WordPress site. Yeah. So all that stuff in due time. Yeah, so we talked about segments last time, and you said your friend looked at the show and his feedback was that we needed structure and we don't have any.
Yeah, I think so. To give it a little bit of context, we talked last week about one of our mentors in the program, Matt Wills.
Okay.
So he creates brand mascots.
Oh, he was the Floob guy, right?
Yes, Floob creative guy. And I mean, he was a great mentor. I mean, he got really great ratings by our founders, which I kind of expected because I talked with him before, but I mean, it's always, you know. But the point is, like I said, hey, Matt, we talked about you in the show, and I mean, everybody, of course, said, oh, great. And then he listened and he said, well, it's great. Thank you very much. I liked it a lot. And then a little bit hesitant, like, well, would you mind if I give you some feedback? No, of course you do. That's what I'm.
Definitely in a rough
he said, well, the show could probably benefit if you give it a little bit more structure. And then I actually showed him my phone with your message. Oh, you can't really see.
Oh yeah. It. Well, I have it over here on my window.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So with that, I mean, the structure that you proposed.
I could post those in the show notes. It wasn't necessarily do 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 through 10. These are 10 ideas of what could potentially be segments of the show.
And I had mine from before and I couldn't find them, so that wasn't a big help. But I mean, I think your proposals were way better anyway. So it's
thanks.
Not really important.
I could post this in the show notes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I saw. Actually, I can look at the statistics. I think like most of our shows have 0 viewers.
Wow, that's consistent.
Yeah, yeah. I meant to check out the statistics, but yeah, it's bad. Nobody's listening, so this I understand why we don't have a website or anything, but that means we're kind of free to figure it out until we get an audience, which I think is a blessing, actually. So we could do we could talk about each segment idea 1 through 10 and maybe do a dry run. Would you want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, let's do that and then give the 0 listeners a chance to vote on that.
Right. Okay.
And that means that if you're the 1 listener and you vote, then that's in.
So, I mean, you could even just comment first and be the first commenter on our site. Yeah, definitely. We could use any kind of input. Totally. Okay, yeah, so let's go down. The first one is reviewing stuff, which is just kind of obvious and I mean, I think would be good, although I don't know that we have anything to review right now because we didn't prepare. Oh, you know what I could do? I could probably just share the screen. Let me just put it in a text file. And maybe this will be geeky enough. Okay. and format it so it all fits on one screen. Okay, cool. So let me share the screen so the audience knows, can see it anyway. I forgot how it looked when it was shared. Okay,
small,
so
in my case, I don't know how it looks like in the end, but it's small.
Well, I can make it smaller and
No.
probably better.
Let me first make a screenshot of this. Oh, now it's bigger.
Yeah, because I made the window smaller, so maybe this way. I was trying to get all of them in, but this way we can just scroll through them.
Yeah.
I wonder if it covers the whole screen or not, though. So maybe I should just like keep going back to it. But anyway, okay. So first one is review stuff, which is obvious, but we find something cool out there. Maybe we could do Kickstarter, or I don't know. What kind of what's your input? What kind of like stuff could we review?
Well, that's actually an interesting thought. Like, I mean, you can review things what is on Kickstarter right now, and that's our opinion about something what doesn't exist yet, right?
Yeah.
So that's not. It's also kind of a review, but it's a review about something what doesn't exist. Like reviews, I think, in my gut feeling, are where you actually have the physical product and use it. And then, but you might be doing you might be able to do a review about things.
There's a couple things, versions of this I've seen. Let's see, like tell me about something you spent less than $100 on that you really like. Although, you know, I don't know the conversion rate, but basically 100. What is that, 600 yuan, or I don't know what what it is in Deutschmarks or whatever. Like, I don't know. Well, we could give that some thought. Like, we could find something online and give opinions. And I misspelled review. Yeah, okay. Well, that's something I don't feel like we could sort of practice right now because we don't have anything to review. I'm trying to think of. Oh well, I mean, the last thing I bought was the last sort of geeky thing. Is this the Arduino FX? This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Arduino Boy. And I wasn't inspired to play with it, but it's really cool. It has like thousands of games on it, and you kind of go through and has different genres. So there's arcade, and you can sort of waste some time on it. And then you can also you can program it yourself, which I haven't done, but it's an Arduino board. So you could, if you were designing simple games, you could play on it. And I like it's really solid. My 8-year-old nephew played with it, and he liked it, and then he got bored with it quickly because he's got a cell phone, which is way more interesting to an 8-year-old. So I don't know. I think it's a really cool idea. Practically, unless you want to code with it and learn how to code video games, I think it's just kind of a gimmick. But I think it would be really cool to learn how to code, because a lot of people code with in coding classes, they code with Scratch, or whatever the Chinese equivalent of is that. And this would be cool because you have tutorials online, and I think does it have links to it? Yeah, so you go to ardoboy.com and you could learn how to program your own games. So you could probably spend some more time with this, but I don't know. It was a really cool little thing.
I think it's really worth your time. I mean, like these small games, they are all over the place here with a lot of the classic games I mean that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And one of the manufacturers of those stuff actually gave me a couple from my kids, but
Oh, cool.
they weren't really stable.
These? This is that kit?
No, not this. Just
Okay.
any small handheld game with a lot of games on it, like the retro,
Okay.
the retro games.
Oh, right.
But you can't really do anything with it because it's fixed, like it's proprietary, right? Like it's a small gaming device where you can switch through the games. You can choose the game and you can play the game, but you can't program on it or do anything. Where the one what you're showing me is based on an actual Arduino board. So
Yeah.
I think it's much more interesting than just an out of the shelf gaming retro gaming device, because you're in
Yeah.
control over what's on it. Like, I mean, the other ones, they're just laying around here somewhere and not being used because they're not really, I mean, technically, they're not really doing well. So if yours is doing well and your nephew is playing with it and nothing gets broken and you can
Yes.
program on it, then I would say you have a winner.
It seems pretty stable too. Like the only problem is once you're in a game, you can't exit unless you turn it off, which is I guess a user interface issue. But once you figure that out, it's pretty gravy. The only thing is it's very limited buttons and it's black and white. But yeah, they're pretty solid games from what I played. And it has a whole list of all these games on the back, which are too small for me to even read. Like I'm looking at them, but yeah, there's tons. So yeah, I mean, I think if I could spend some more time with this, I think.
So where did you get that?
I can't remember if it was. It wasn't a Kickstarter. It was a link from a friend, but we can go to Arduboy and find out. I have the. I had to wait a long time for it.
So you have it in a pre-sale.
I'm not sure if it's pre-sale. Let's see. Arduboy.com. Let's share that screen. Switch screen. How cool is that? Okay. I can just switch. Boom, boom. Okay. So this is Arduboy, 8-bit gaming in your wallet.
Oh, it looks awesome.
Yeah, and includes 200 games.
It looks like my Academy website. It's like
the website. Oh, okay, yeah.
My white, black, and like I wanted to use red for blood because it's like
okay.
It's a Hitman website, so everything is black with white and red. But my co-founders didn't like red, so I used orange. But yeah, this thing looks exactly like it.
Yeah, and what's great is it comes with all these games, so even if you don't develop it on it, it's still a useful thing.
Yeah. I need to go there as well. I need to. I'm going to get my phone and my browser, and I'm going to check.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So if you shop, which one? I got the Arduboy FX. Oh wow! Look at this. For $19, you can buy a mod chip. Oh yeah, see 17 available. So, yeah. I mean, I can't recommend it because you probably can't get it, but if you could, Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're available on Adafruit and Seed.
Ah, okay.
And well, Seed is like an hour on a bicycle from where I live.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, you could probably just buy. I didn't know Seed was in Shenzhen. Of course they are. Yeah,
Of course they are.
we visited them. Does Seed 3Es, right?
Yes.
Are they in United States, or is they just Shenzhen? Like, are they?
Well, yeah, no, they're a global e-commerce platform for like open source electronics and hobby
Oh,
electronics and whatever. Not everything's open source, but a lot of small boards.
okay. I feel like I should know
Just
this.
like Adafruit.
Oh, okay.
But Seed is the manufacturer. I'm not sure if Adafruit is a manufacturer.
I think Adafruit makes some things. Yeah, here we go. So $54, which is the same. Looks like there's no markup. I guess maybe it's a little more expensive on here. I don't know. Out of stock. This one's in stock. The FX. Yeah, what is this? 59. Seed has it for even cheaper, 54. So, yeah. I mean, maybe I should start keeping this in my wallet. So when the kids are bored, I can just go, here, take this. Leave me alone. Yeah. Very cool. So that was my review. I think maybe if I prepare next time, I could have more things to say. So you all are a fan, and all our numerous fan, if you want to vote on if you want to keep the review, we'll do better next time. Cool.
But this was a great review. I mean, this is a great suggestion, at least for a product. I don't say that we did a great review, but I mean,
right. Exactly. We could maybe have it not necessarily every episode have a review, but it could be like a floating one or something. Okay, so how about this one? These aren't necessarily like super original ideas, because I know I heard this from somewhere, but on the bubble. So like something that is. Are you familiar with the Gantt curve? I can show you a Gantt curve real quick, and we can just sort of Gantt curve. So this is like if you're in advertising or any kind of crazy. Oh, is it Gantt? Nope, I'm thinking of something else. Oh gosh.
I thought so. I thought it's not Gantt, but I thought probably I'm stupid.
No, I'm the stupid one. Gantt chart, is what I was thinking, but it's the hype curve. I heard of this. Gardner. Gartner hype cycle, not Gantt. So
I wasn't aware of that one.
Yeah. So Gartner is the company that does. Oh gosh, I don't know exactly what they do. They're like a research company for innovations and technology and stuff. And every year they come out with a Gartner hype curve. Gartner hype curve. We'll just see this. So every technology follows this curve, maybe. And so it goes loading.
Damn, you know what that makes me think of? This is exactly the curve of script writing. I mean,
Oh,
I've done a course on script writing like 20 years ago, and like I'm talking about like a Hollywood script, right? Not like a movie house script, because movie house scripts don't follow anything. But that's why they're usually not interesting. But I mean, any movie has this curve. Like the plot builds up till something what you expect, then it crashes, and then there's kind of like a happy end. Goes like the slope of enlightenment goes up again.
huh. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's just a phenomena with like, yeah, I've never thought about that, comparing it to that, but it's like technology goes through this peak. So if we talk about, can you see my mouse in this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Cool. Skype lets you see the mouse. Okay, so the technology trigger. So let's say the web, 1993. Tim Berners-Lee has this thing, and no one really pays attention to it. And then it gets super popular, and then this at the peak, that's like the .com bust of 2000, and it just crashes. And people, this is right. So this is the bubble when it's about to burst, and then it goes through, and then this is the like recession of 2008 or something. That was anyway. That was probably a different thing that made that crash. But anyway, it crashes. All these stocks lose money. Pets.com becomes a laughing stock, and then it comes up, and people are like, "Well, actually, the web is useful for some things." And now we have like Pets.com, and it just sort of like coasts along, and it's no longer interesting. It's just sort of part of the everyday life. So you can think of NFTs might be sort of crashing here. Bitcoin might be down here. Artificial intelligence is maybe up here. And so every year, Gartner comes up with these technology curves. Emergence. So here's emerging technologies of 2021. So I guess this is the latest one.
So where on the line are fax machines?
Oh gosh, yeah. I guess that fell off the curve. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. If I click on it, will it get better? No, I'll just zoom. Oops, I'll do the zoom in. Oops. Okay, for emergent technologies. So we have non-NFTs are in 2001 are right on the bubble, basically. And so like I think they're starting to crash and they'll go farther down. AI augmented software engineering is people are starting to hear about that. Quantum ML, I don't know.
Quantum machine learning. Yeah, there is something.
Machine learning. Yeah, quantum machine learning. And so all this stuff. I'm kind of sick of hearing of artificial intelligence. Like, I can't wait till it gets over here, and we just like, I don't know. Self-driving cars. I was super excited about that, and I don't know what's going with self-driving cars. It's another one of those things like fusion is all. It's been like 10 years away for over 30 years. Cold fusion, right? As used to say, it's 10 years away for 30 years. I feel like our self-driving cars, we may never even realize them. They've been sort of, in about 10 years, we'll have self-driving cars, and I've heard that for maybe 10 years now. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like that's what on the bubble would be, is like we sort of figure out what kind of ideas are happening like these. I'm not sure I'm super excited about this unless it's some new idea that we're excited about. But that's kind of the idea of on the bubble. Like, so what do you think of this technology? Like we talk about, I don't know, independent Arduino makers or something, or fashion and technology or something, and just kind of talk about where we think it's going. So,
well, it's worth for sure, because it's something people are interested in. That's why it's there in the first place on that line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also think that if we do a shout out in the community
Okay. Yeah.
for people who are doing a product that is in a hype at this moment. So would you like to be interviewed about your product? That we can have some interesting input.
Yeah, maybe that would be another one that's we don't always do. Okay, so this other one I was thinking of is I found something cool. Which is basically the same as number one.
Yeah, I mean, you did that.
So maybe so it doesn't have to be. So the thing with review stuff is like it's something that is just coming, like you can buy now or something. But I found something cool could be like, I took a walk in my neighborhood and I saw this really neat flower, or and I looked it up on Wikipedia, and this is like a flower that only grows in my neighborhood, and it's special because it's the only one that has like this interesting interaction with bugs or something like that, right? So it's like not necessarily a product, it's just something interesting and geeky that we want to talk about, although maybe it should relate to, maybe the flower wasn't necessarily.
I thought so,
but
not maybe the right example here, but
just off the top of my head I was thinking that. And then fact of the day.
It tells a lot about you, like what kind of person you are.
Now
you're a flower boy.
Flower child. Yeah, well, I did spend 20 years in San Francisco. There's that song, if you're going to San Francisco, you're gonna find something with flowers in her hair. I don't know. San Francisco's not like that anymore, though. It's all about techies these days. But another one I was thinking, fact of the day. So I do this thing. Let's see if I can find it. I have been collecting facts. Let me see if I can find it for you. And I was going to try to turn it into either some kind of conceptual artwork or website. But where is it? I'm sorry for this. We can cut this in post, right? Although we won't, but we could. Where is it? Used to have a website, but now it's just, oh boy. Context specific. Damn it. Oh well, I'll just talk. I wish I could have showed you. But anyway, I've been collecting factoids, which is something that is, I find probably true, but I don't have anything to back it up. So just something interesting we found online, or some kind of I don't know, I don't know, just an interesting fact. I wish I had one I could just pull out, but I can't find my list that I've been collecting since 2017. Oh, okay, wait, here we go. These are some factoids, like just weird things. So like the first Thanksgiving was eels, not turkey. So the Native Americans, when they got together with the colonists, eels was the main course. Right and left politics comes from the King of France, who sat on the right of the king, and those who opposed him sat on the left of the king. So Thomas Paine and Edmund Burke came up with this like left meant you sat on the left hand of the king. Right wing is you're on the right wing of the king, and left you're on the. Titan has liquid oceans made of farts. So like the Titan is the moon of Jupiter, I think. If I were to present this in a real factoid, I would first of all spell check, and then I would have more info on it. But so basically, the whole surface is this one ocean, and it's so compressed that it's liquid, but it's like methane and ethane. So it's like this big liquid fart planet. So anyway, that's what I would like my factoid of the day.
That would be the end of our energy crisis as well, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. If we could just get the farts from Titan. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Fact of the day. We could each find a fact. Sorry. And then well, actually, which is kind of almost the fact of the day. It's like a counterintuitive idea. Like like the more you know, the less you feel like you know. So sort of uninformed people are more convincing than knowledgeable people, because the uninformed are so convinced that they're right that they're probably wrong. And if you know the right answer, you've studied it so much that you know it from different angles. So you're less confident about the answer. So that kind of thing, like just sort of counterintuitive knowledge. And then a hacker answer. So this we'd have to wait till we have an audience. Like this would be awesome. So we could have emails and questions of people, or until we have an audience, we could go to Stack Exchange or something and find questions and answer them. Buffer overflow. I like this. Just the name of it. Maybe not necessarily the comfort. You know what a buffer overflow is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to explain to the audience, when you write a piece of code and it's expecting it to end here, but instead you give an input that has extra, you can sometimes hack it so it makes it sort of maybe I can't explain it very well. But you basically put in too much information so it interprets the extra bit that goes off the screen and interprets it as a code, so you can like execute things. And this is like a big way that hackers online would get your data, as they'd figure out an exploit that's a buffer overflow and figure out how to hack it, and send it a command like print all the users in the database or something like that. That might not be a good explanation, but anyway, it's
so I thought I knew what it was, but it's kind of different. Like I thought the buffer overflow would get lost, right? It's like
ideally
can handle a certain amount of data, and if the data coming in is bigger, it's kind of like you're trying to pour too much water in a cup, and then the cup would overflow, and then that rest of the water would be gone. But in your case, it's not gone. It's still processed. Only you don't know about it, or the user doesn't know about it. The hacker knows.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what you said. I maybe took a special instance of a buffer overflow where it could be used as an exploit. But yeah, it basically messes up the program, usually in just chaotic ways. But if you're a hacker and you're lucky, you can use that to your advantage. But yeah, Google says a buffer overflow occurs when a program or process attempts to write more data to a fixed length block of memory or buffer than the buffer is allocated to hold. So yeah, so anyway, it's a failure. So we could talk about some cool failure that happened to us or a friend, or some famous or not so famous failure in business or technology.
I remember the guy who invented the LED eyelashes.
Sounds like this is a good buffer overflow story. Yeah, go ahead.
He's someone I know personally, not at the time. So my co-founder knew him personally at the time when he designed those eyelashes you can glue on yourself with the battery pack behind you, and then like there's different patterns. So you would wear those in a disco, right, or in the evening you go out and he had an accelerometer in his board. So I mean, if you hold your head like this and the LEDs would drop this way, so like that. And of course, the accelerator makes the product a little bit more expensive. So I'm not sure. Like he was probably, I mean, it was on a crowdfunding platform, and I think he was selling them like early bird for like $30 or $40. And I think how long is a crowdfunding campaign or whatever, like 2 months or something. And when they were like 3/4 or 2/3 in the campaign, my co-founder who know about it because he loves all that open source stuff and whatever, called him and told him the booth number in Watchung Bay where he could buy the product now for like $6.
Wow. Wow.
So, and of course the guy who designed it, he was sick about that because like his big Kickstarter, which was really successful. I mean, still, I think they still ran, but and a lot of people who don't know our industry, they're really pissed off when they back a Kickstarter and then it's copied and on the shelves before the end of the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
And it happens especially with like small things, what you can put in an envelope. Which are on Kickstarter, which are extremely successful, and they don't have like a software backend or something, which it costs time to produce. So anything small, electronic, whatever, can easily be copied, and the people here who manufacture all our stuff, they can do that in a blink of an eye. I mean, there's no rocket science behind it.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you put a product like that on a Kickstarter platform, it's kind of asking to be copied, because like if you get like 100,000 sales, then or 1 million sales, whatever, I don't know, but yeah, the people here smell money. So I think they're now available for like $2 or $3. These sets.
Is this F Lashes? Is that the one? Do you know?
I can't see your screen yet. It's I know you're sharing, but it didn't show up yet.
F Lashes. It looks like they asked for 10,000 and they got like 115,000.
It's probably the one, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, super cool idea. I mean, that's the thing. So I feel like they should call it Kick Finisher, because you don't really launch a product on Kickstarter anymore. It's all about it's more marketing. Like Kickstarter is just a marketing platform now. So you already have to have the following in order to be successful in it. So I don't know. So I'm working with, I've got these engineers, Jason and Kalamov, that we've been working on stuff together, and they've got an Arduino board, and they're thinking of launching on Kickstarter. Maybe I should talk to you about this, actually. It's a cool idea, but I'm not sure it should be on Kickstarter unless we're going to build a brand around it, and the brand is launched on Kickstarter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
I tried that one Kickstarter. We had Mascade Project, and might as well plug it here, even though it's not really gonna go anywhere, I don't think, because I think it's a great idea. It's just sort of not really of the time right now. But I'm pretty sure I showed you the Mascade Project, right? Are you seeing the screen, or is it not sharing?
No, it's still gray for me.
Okay. Well, anyway, the Mascade project, which was it was the thing that applied static electricity to a mask, and it works. And we have these devices that can detect electricity, and then we have a thing that will clean and sanitize and reapply static electricity to your to a used N95 mask. And we sold a few of them. But we tried a Kickstarter and they wouldn't allow it because it's a medical device. And so we had it on Indiegogo and we didn't get that many backers and we stopped it. There was like this would be a good buffer overflow is my failure with this project because it was a lot of fun. I learned some stuff from it. But ultimately I don't know. It's still limping along, but yeah, I don't know. That
Yeah,
would be one of my
absolutely. F lashes is
yeah,
the
that's the
yeah.
one. Okay, cool. So we have a if it recorded correctly, we have me scrolling through it. Cool. So that's one. And then another one I was thinking about is the hacker history. So this could be like, we could tell the story of Nikola Tesla, or we could talk about, like you were talking about James Bond as a hacker. Maybe it could be sort of like, oh, sorry, that's historical hacker. We highlight someone who may or not be considered a hacker, and we look at them through the ethos of, through the lens of the hacker ethos.
Yeah.
So you gave me this idea when you were talking about James Bond last time, but what if we took like real historical people? Because that's kind of fun for me to like find some obscure person in history and then talk about them. And then the other is sort of hacker history as well. Like we could just talk about events, not people necessarily. Because I'm sort of a little bit put off by the important man version of history. Like we're standing on the back of giants, and it's like we know Edison, we know Tesla, we know Faraday, we know everything is named, everything technical is named after some dead white guy. But the other way to look at that is ideas, sort of like a zeitgeist forms, and this idea would happen whether or not this person was there or not. Kind of like the two inventors of wireless technology, or maybe three. There was like Marconi and another one, but one of them got the credit and then posthumously went back. But really, it's kind of like these ideas, like Tim Berners-Lee invented the internet. I mean, awesome. Like, I'm glad he did that and he deserves all the kudos. But it's also sort of this idea that may or may not have happened with Tim Berners-Lee. So there's this kind of crux this kind of tension I have when learning about history. Like, how much is this important person, and how much is just something that would have happened? The issue is, it's really fun and interesting to talk about people in a hero story. So, like you talk about, oh, this happened and then this happened, is not nearly as interesting as attaching a person and telling their story through it.
So talk about James Dyson. I mean, like,
oh yeah, okay.
Vacuum cleaners are around for a while. I think at least since Hoover, but which is like probably the 1930s or something.
Oh, it goes farther back than that. They used to have these carts they would pull around that were steam powered, and they like they'd come by like those in Beijing. They probably do in Shenzhen, where they ring a bell and they're like, "Well, clean your windows." They'll come by and like have a tube going out to their truck in the back, their horse-drawn carriage thing, and suck out dirt. So anyway, yeah, keep going.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I think he did over 5,000 prototypes before he finally was satisfied with the product, what right. He had in mind. But then again, he has a product what is seemingly working better than other products. Although I personally haven't tried it. I'm about to buy one.
I have one, but I reverted back to a neighbor down the street moved out, and they gave me their vacuum cleaner, and it's this huge, like stainless steel, amazing vacuum. And I think it's the Dyson isn't really that good compared to these similar priced traditional ones
Mm.
because the Dyson looks like it's better because you have this thing and you have the visuals of the dirt coming up, and it's really satisfying to vacuum with a Dyson vacuum cleaner. But a normal vacuum cleaner, it puts it in that bag, like the HEPA filter bag, and then you throw the bag away. So it's more wasteful, but it's I think a traditional vacuum cleaner is actually better and more powerful, unless you constantly change the filters of the Dyson, which it obviously recommends you do. So I don't know that the Dyson is um, that great, honestly. I mean, I like it; it's cool, but I don't think it's a huge improvement, other than the psychological effect of using a Dyson.
So that's interesting to go through. Like I think people who bought a product, they have a bias for thinking
Mm,
good about it
true,
because
true.
they invested money. So if it wouldn't be good, they would feel bad. And I mean, people don't like to feel bad. I mean, subconsciously, right? I mean, this is not a conscious decision.
Well, I also think it's I mean, if it gets more people to vacuum, that's a plus. And Dyson has a really good brand, and that's
Mm.
valuable in itself. And the hand dryers, a Dyson hand dryer in the bathroom is much better than any other ones I've seen.
Okay.
So um, has its pluses and minuses. So anyway, so that would that be historical, or that might actually be
Well,
part of it?
well, I mean, it's history at least that the product is made and is in the market. And can also talk about that he was actually designing a wheelbarrow
Oh,
uh, with a kind
yeah.
of omni wheel to kind of revolutionize the way how workers like carry around their stuffs, um, the dirt,
Oh,
until he found out that it's not a scalable market. Like there's only so many wheelbarrows what you can sell in a
right.
lifetime, and then it's kind of done. And that's where I think he pivoted to vacuum cleaners.
Yeah, so that's almost like a crossover with a buffer overflow idea. Um, yeah. And then the last one I have, we're just about running out of time, but what's next? So it's like we talk about what's going to be in the next episode. Like like maybe that we should make a conscious effort to spend the last bit of the episode talking about what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, so of these, like we review stuff, we talk about like what is on the bubble, and then the sort of I found something cool, or oh wait, no, sorry, the review stuff I found something cool, or talk about a technology, the arc of it, like what do we think is coming up and what's sort of overrated, underrated of technology ideas like NFT or whatever. We could talk about if those are overrated or underrated. I'm sort of on the fence about that one in particular, but anyway, a fact of the day, a counterintuitive idea, um, find a question online and answer it, a big failure that happened, or talk about history. Like any of those sound like fun homework that you could do once a
Mm.
week.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think there are bad ones here. I think they're
Right.
all very, very plausible. And I think it goes down a little bit like, I don't know how it's with you, like doing this podcast here, for me, it's like very early, like starts at
Right.
5 a.m. But I mean,
Yeah.
for me, this is fun. This is like, I mean, this is one of my happy moments, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
But let's say during the week, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah.
And
Right. So you.
For most of the things, we would actually have to do some homework. We have to prepare, and there's
Right.
nothing wrong about that. But what I'm trying to say here is like, from all these ideas, we probably have to see which fits into our natural workflow.
Okay.
From one side, let's look at it from a practical side and from an idealistic side, right? The idealistic side is like either what we think should be in the show or what an audience would want to hear for sure. And on a practical side is anything that kind of goes with our existing flow, which is easy to do as homework. So at least we can do it every week and we can be consistent. That would probably be just as important for practical reasons, like for consistency, what seems that people like.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if we definitely need to make a decision on this. And I mean, maybe we get feedback from listeners. Otherwise, we can give it this week a thought. And then what would be next is to go through our decisions next week and explain why we choose that.
Okay. How about we come up with something interesting to share each next week?
Yeah.
That could be one of these or not. So it could be like a cool thing. It could be technology we think like I'm just thinking NFTs are kind of interesting. I think there's some sort of counterintuitive uses for them that people aren't necessarily using, and there's also a lot of hype. I could find a fact, maybe find a question. So the homework. So you said the homework is to sort of talk about why we like each segment, or?
Well, I mean, if we want to give structure and if there's too many things to choose from, then at least we should have clear for ourselves which points we like to have coming back every week. And we should be able to explain why. I mean, and like if we can convince the audience that that's a good topic.
Well, I also don't like the idea of having to do homework every week. Because that would make it less. Because my other show, I do a slide show every week, and it's I'm not. I think I might stop doing that because it was fun in the beginning. Yeah. Well, so we can see what emerges, but I say we always wrap up the episode talking about what we're going to do next episode, and we're like we both try to figure out what we're doing next episode.
That's smart.
I think that's the only real one. So how about next episode? We find something interesting to share. And it could be anything. It could be an idea. It could be old or new. Is that something you feel like you could commit to?
Yeah,
could even
absolutely.
Be something. Okay. And then I don't know if I can find time, but I need to make an email list and a website and dump all these videos to audio and make a podcast as well. So, yeah. Okay. That sounds good. All right. Let's stop. Boom.